You may know already that the Indigenous Day of Prayer always falls on the Sunday closest to June 21st, which is National Indigenous Peoples Day here in Canada. June 21st is also named as Indigenous Solidarity Day by many First Nations of Turtle Island and the land that we call Canada. For most of us here, it is a day of lifting up connections that we have with Indigenous communities, either as family or friends. As United Church Minister Reed Shearman notes, it's quite possible that in our local neighborhood, town, or city, there are many Indigenous people we haven't yet had the chance to meet. And Reed says, for so long, many of our congregations have been oriented around other communities, especially the dominant, often white, Eurocentric communities who came to these shores as Methodists, Presbyterians, and Congregationalists. For so long, many of us have only gotten to know Indigenous peoples we've met on television news or in the movies, leaving our heads swimming in often narrow and negative stereotypes of who they are, rather than the truth. Quite simply, Indigenous peoples, like all people, are our neighbors. And so in that spirit and truth, let's move through this litany together. This is a prayer written by Reed Shearman, a United Church minister with Trinity United Church in Montreal, and a strong advocate and participant in the work of right relations. This is Reed's prayer, inviting us to acknowledge our kinship. Creator, we come together today as diverse, united peoples to give thanks to you, maker of heaven and earth. We come to listen, to learn, to sing and pray, to consider our place in the order of things you have created and are creating. It is right and good to give thanks for the land on which we stand, for this is wisdom we learn from Indigenous peoples of this land, that we are one with the earth, its waters, air, animals, and plants. Such wisdom, our interdependence with all life, is something too easy to forget in our busy lives. It is a gift and a challenge to us to remember. And so we take time to acknowledge the lands on which we now live. Many of us have come from other places, arriving from distant shores, our families arriving years ago, or some of us more recently. When settlers came, they were met by others who were already here, already knew these lands, already lived rich and full lives based on ancient and proud cultures. O God, as we acknowledge the peoples who have lived on and stewarded these lands since time immemorial, and their continued claims to the land, help us to become neighbors that we might live together in better ways. For we are all kin in you, all my relations with each other and this earth, its waters, air, animals, and plants. Amen.